Hello, it's Mr. K again. Welcome to Inventor Shapes 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so we are going to create our first shape in Inventor. You've opened it up and you've started building, not practicing. And we're going to start with a part. We're going to tap on that. You don't want to tap on it a bunch of times. The program runs a little slow sometimes. Every time you tap on it, it will open up another one. It's thinking. You can see that down here that it's thinking. Okay, so the first part came up. If I'd have clicked on it a bunch of times, this would have gone part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, however many times I click on it. I'm going to start with my new 2D sketch. I don't need to click on the bottom part here. I'm going to click on the picture. If you do click on the bottom part, it gives you some choices. The only one we really care about is the 2D sketch. So we're going to go ahead and click on the picture on top. When we click on it, it'll come up and give us our 3 dimensions, our XY plane, our YZ plane, and an XZ plane. We're going to start with the XY plane. And you'll see that it rotates it out there for you. I'm now going to draw that first shape. I'm going to use my middle mouse button, and if you click and hold your middle mouse button, you can move it around. So that middle rolly ball is really a button. So we're going to click and hold, and it'll let you move it around. It lets me get this centered so I can see it a little bit better. I'm going to start with rectangle tool. Again, you can do all different kinds of shapes, but I don't care about them right now. I'm going to choose just my rectangle tool. I'm going to come down here, and green is good at the apex, at the origin. Green is good, so I'm going to draw this, and I'm going to bring it out. I just clicked and let go. And when I bring it out, it comes out and it shows 2 dimensions. The one going across is going to be 2.25. Hit my tab key and it'll jump to the other measurement, and it jumped and moved it, and it put it here in the middle because you can't see it because it would have been off the screen. I can rolly ball out and you can now see where it would have been. I can middle mouse button and move things around and you can see where it would be. Now I need my height, and that's going to be 0.75. And then I hit enter and it creates this first rectangle. Now I want to create my second rectangle. Green is good here at the origin. I'm going to click, and this time the width is going to be 0.75. I'm going to hit tab, and the height is going to be 1.5. And so now I have that L shape, which is that first shape that we're making. I'm going to finish sketch, double tap the middle mouse button, and it brings it into the center for you. So if you double tap it, even if it's all the way back here at the back and you can't find it, double tap and it'll bring it back to you. Now I'm going to extrude. So I'm going to use the extrude tool. It's going to open up and it's going to give me some choices. It's asking me, what is my profile? That means, what is the pictures? What is the shape that I want to extrude? I'm going to come over here and I'm going to click on the first one, and it's going to pop it out. I'm going to click on the second one, and it's going to pop it out and add them together. Now I need to make sure that I've got my depth done correctly, and that's 1.5. Hit enter and double tap my center mouse button, and there's my first shape. You want to save it, File, Save As. Make sure you put it in your correct folder. You want it to be in your Inventor folder, which is in your My Documents. So you put it in your Inventor folder, and you probably want to create a new folder called Shapesheet so that you don't lose it, because you're going to have several things in here, and you're going to make sure that you save it. So I'm going to say I'm going to create a new folder. I'm going to right click, and I'm going to say new folder, and I'm going to call this one Shapesheet. Save. I'm going to go into that one, and I'm going to call this guy Shape 1. Save. That's fine. So there's my Shape 1. Now we're going to start working on shapes 2 and 3. They're going to go a little bit faster because we already know how to use these tools. So stay with it. So we're going to start a new part. 2D sketch, XY plane, working on shape 2. Same dimensions as before. Making our rectangle, or 2 rectangles, to make the L shape. Remember, I'm using tab to move them around, or to get from dimension to dimension. Double tap to bring it into the center. Double tap your middle mouse button. Extrude 1.5. And that should look very similar to what you had before. Shape 2 has a little piece cut out here. So I'm going to start a new 2D sketch. Notice that there's a little pencil on a piece of paper. I'm going to now go choose where I want to draw that. I want to draw it right here. I'm going to draw the shape that I want. It's a rectangle. I'm going to start in the corner here. Green is good. And then I know that the length is 1 and the depth is 0.5. Finish sketch. And this time when I extrude, it's trying to make it go up and down, but I don't want it to go up and down. I want it to go the other direction. So I'm going to come over here and choose direction 2, and it will cut it away. And look at that. There's shape 2. It's that simple. Make sure you save it. File, Save As. You want to put it in the correct folder, in your Inventor folder, and in the new directory you called Shapesheet. I'm going to title it Shape 2. Shape 2. Save. That's fine. And there it is, all done. It's that simple. Next up, shape 3. Okay, on to shape 3. Start a new part. 2D sketch. XY plane. I'm going to start with the same dimensions that we had before. Same 2 rectangles. Finish sketch. Extrude them 1.5. And this is our base to begin with. Now we have the piece that's going to be cut out right here and another piece that's going to be cut out right here. Start my 2D sketch. It's got a piece of paper telling me where I'm going to work on. I'm going to work on this one. I want to turn it sideways because it's easier for me to work with. I'm going to draw my rectangle. Now this time you don't want to be green is good. If you go to green is good, it's going to lock it in the center right here. And this piece that we're cutting out is not in the center. So I'm going to come up here to another place. Now you can see there's a little arrow with a line, red line, that's showing you you're on the line. Now it's showing you you're not. Now I'm back on the line. And I'm going to draw my rectangle. I know that it is 0.75, tab 0.5. Now you'll see these 2 green lines. I'm going to have to come up here and choose dimension, and I need to dimension them. So to do this, I need to get the dimension from here to here. I'm going to click on the green line. Now it already says that it's 0.75, so I don't want to click again. I want to come all the way to the next line, click, and here's where students mess up. They think that there's something happening here, and there isn't. You have to actually move down, click it again. And this time I want this distance, so the distance from here to here, which is 0.5. Lock it in. You'll notice it's all purple now. now. So that's 0.5 here, 0.5 here, therefore this has to be 0.5. And if you really cared, you could check. You don't have to, but you can check, and it will tell you that it's locked in at 0.5, meaning a total of 1.5. I'm going to finish sketch. I'm going to extrude this piece, but I don't want it to go up. I want it to go down, so I'm going to change my direction. Say OK. And now that piece has been cut out. I'm going to come back over here, start another 2D sketch. This time I'm going to cut out a piece here. I'm going to cut it about exactly the same. Or you know what? Maybe I'll do it a little bit differently this time. This time I'm going to do it from this face. I'm going to click here, center it for me. Take my rectangle. Again, you don't want to be green is good, and you don't want to be green in the corner because it's not. I'm going to click, drag it across, and this time my dimensions are 0.75, tab, and this dimension is 1. And again, you'll notice it's not centered, so I'm going to take my dimension tool, click on the green line, click on the white line, click down, and 0.25, and now it's centered in there. When I finish sketch, what I'm going to do is extrude this piece. Extrude, choose it, it's going up. I'm going to change the direction, but this time it can't go all the way down. This time it's only going to go down 0.5. Enter, and there it is, that cut away. If I take and hold down the shift key and the center mouse button, I can now rotate it around, and you can see what the shape actually looks like. That's the shift and the center mouse button. So now I can see what the whole thing is. When I'm done looking at it, I can come back here and click home, and it'll bring it back home for me. And there's the first 3 shapes. You're all done. Go forth. I encourage you to look at the dimensions, make sure you set them and cut them the correct way. Don't get too confused. Don't make it too hard. Don't try to build them piece by piece. Start with one big piece and then cut out the small pieces that you want. Good luck. And don't forget to save your work, because if you don't, then you'll have to do it again, and that'll be a lot of work. Good luck, and I hope you're able to get all 6 of these, all 9 of these done, and are able to get them turned in. Have a beautiful day.